Okay, Crystal Palace Millwall at Selhurst Park in the fifth round of the FA Cup. This was a fiery encounter. They did have a sending off very early on. A disallowed goal, one goal that had to go to VAR. But let's just break down the game. Now, Palace have won the game 3-1. It was 2-1 at half time. Millwall stuck in the game. They were 2-0 down at one point and they stuck in the game, made the second half uncomfortable for Palace. But being down to 10 men since the 8th minute, I think that did have a massive part to play in the final result. The first 5-6 minutes were very, very lively. It was good energy from both sides. The atmosphere, obviously, between Palace and Millwall, obviously in the stadium at Selhurst Park, was a lively atmosphere. Now, Palace pinged the ball long, and Mateta is using his movement. He's trying to get on the end of that ball, but the keeper, Liam Roberts, has shot off his line. Now, you can understand why that the back three have been exposed by a long ball, but he shot off his line. He's flown into the challenge. He has taken Mateta out. Yes, he wins the ball, but he puts his foot through Mateta's head. And the only way I can describe this challenge is Schumacher on Battiston in the 82 World Cup semi-final. He's flown out. There is no mitigation in regards to his missed time. He's flown out. He's led with his foot. It's a head-high challenge. Mateta, there was a lengthy spell for treatment, and we're talking about 15 minutes stoppage. He ended up not going to the dressing room but going into the back of an ambulance with a severe head injury, and there is no update on his condition as of full time, which is literally full time has just gone. So Liam Roberts is sent off. I don't understand why the referees had to go to VAR for that. The VAR check added a bit more time, I think, as well. That's a straight red. That's dangerous play. And we'll see how long Liam Roberts is suspended for, because that is going to be a lengthy spell on the sidelines for Roberts, the goalkeeper from Millwall. Mateta, that injury treatment, that lasted a long time as well. Very, very serious. And it did disrupt the game for a little bit. And then it was all Palace for the majority of the first half. It was all Palace. Jensen's had to come on. The normal goalkeepers come on as a substitute. He's pulled off a couple of good saves. There has been a goal disallowed for Nketiah, who also came on for Mateta. And Nketiah's had a goal ruled out, rightly so, for a handball in the build-up. VAR pings that one. And then Tanganga's own goal. Now, his positioning's all wrong. The keeper's clearly coming to claim the ball as well, and he heads it into the back of his own net. His body position's all wrong. A complete miscommunication. And it's ended up in the back of the net. That was on 33 minutes. That knocked the stuffing a little bit out of Millwall at that point. Munoz gets his goal on 41 minutes, and again, complete defensive mishap in trying to clear the ball. He would have been offside had that come off Chilwell or another player, off a Palace player. But one Millwall defender hacks it into Tanganga, bounces off Tanganga. Munoz just poaches a goal. Now, all the Millwall players are screaming for offside. It goes to a VAR check. It's onside. It's clear and obvious that the Millwall player has lashed the ball into his teammate. It's bounced to Munoz. It's a good goal. And so Palace were creating chances. They had nearly 80% of the possession at this point. Millwall haven't shown much. A couple of long throws in the box that Millwall, looked a bit lively off, but otherwise Millwall haven't had a lot of touches in the opposition half. They've been doing a lot of defending, a lot of chasing of the ball. They can't get out of their half. And then Aziz gets a bit of space. Turner, okay, he does well to parry the initial shot come cross, but then Harding just latches onto it, shoots it low. Chilwell's body position's a bit wrong. It's a deflection into the back of the net, and that is on the stroke of half time, deep in injury time at the end of the first half. So it's 2-1 at half time. Millwall have managed to get a glimmer of hope by Harding's goal. It's a well taken strike. Chilwell, though, his body position's all wrong. It's a bit of a deflection. Could Turner, the keeper, do a bit better, as he is an international quality goalkeeper? You could argue that potentially with his initial low save, pushing it out away from the goal, and then with also his positioning as well when the shot comes in. Now, the second half, Palace looked nervy. They'd clearly been comfortable at 2-0. They've allowed Millwall back into the game by just switching off, and that one phase of play where they switch off, it's 2-1. They looked nervy, they looked sloppy, they just looked disjointed in the second half. Millwall were starting to get chances. It is sometimes difficult to play against 10 men. Sometimes it's harder to play against 10 men. Millwall were in the game, they're scrapping for everything, they're creating some chances themselves. So Turner's had to make a few saves in the Palace goal. Palace would have some chances as well. Jensen's had to make some more saves. And you could see that Palace were nervy. They had lost control of the game management a little bit. They had lost a bit of their rhythm and their flow because they've been quite good for a large portion of the first half following the lengthy treatment to Mateta. But Nketiah's headed goal is brilliant back across the goal. That is a brilliant goal by Nketiah. He hasn't had a lot of game time. He didn't really get a lot of game time at Arsenal. He's come to Palace to get some game time. And that is a brilliant header. I mean, on another day, his other goal would have stood if it bounced off his hip rather than his hands, because that was a good finish. He's played really well in relief of Mateta. I don't think he would have expected to get as many minutes as he did today. He was lively, and that headed finish is a well-taken headed finish. It really is a well-taken headed finish. That was on 82 minutes, and that seals the game for Palace. But they've made themselves work hard for it in the second half, very hard for it in the second half. And sometimes it is difficult when you're playing against a team that's gone down to 10 men. That's going to just make things niggly, make things difficult, not give a lot of space. Munoz was very threatening down the right side as a wing back. Chilwell had hit the bar in the first half, immediately from an offside position, but Chilwell was creating problems as well in the wide areas. Of course, they had a lot of possession. They have that extra man. But Millwall made things difficult. And the way Palace just lost their rhythm in the second half, lost their focus in the second half, looked a bit disjointed, lost a bit of tempo. Millwall hung in there. They made a game of it. And, the result's 3-1, but I think that sending off, that challenge is going to be the talking point coming out of this game. And that will be what the game is most likely remembered for, is what I can only describe as, the only incident I can think of is Schumacher on Battiston in the 82 World Cup semi-final, where he's just charged off his line, and he's that was just reckless. And from an experienced goalkeeper in Roberts as well, that was a reckless challenge. And we shall see how seriously injured Mateta actually is. But leaving in the back of an ambulance is not a good sign. He was on the ground for a good 15 minutes receiving treatment. But there we go. Crystal Palace have beaten Millwall 3-1. And from what we can gather, Preston were hammering Burnley in the other game, which is a surprise considering Burnley's defensive record this season and Preston having a disjointed season. That's a surprise as well. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the game in the comments section below. That send-off is going to be the talking point, I think, of the weekend, if not for weeks to follow. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.